rhythms, jazz standards, combined with fancy footwork and incredible on-stage charisma. In the early 60s, Jay fronted the R&B group, the Cougars, and over the past 10 years, Jay has performed around the world and at the annual Toronto events such as the Beaches Jazz Festival, Jerk Fest, Canadian National Exhibition, Young and Dundas Square, and Taste of Lawrence. Jay was proclaimed winner of Now Magazine's Toronto Best R&B Act in 2008 and Male Reggae Vocalist of the Year at the annual Toronto Reggae Awards in 2007. During this time, in Seattle, Washington, a Seattle, Washington-based group, a promotions company, Light in the Attic, made Jay their band leader for the From Jamaica to Toronto concert launch at the Harbourfront Centre in Toronto in July 2006. This successful show was later, this successful show was led by Jay in both Vancouver and Montreal. Recently, Jay was nominated for Reggae Recording of the Year 2012 Juno Awards and was the recipient of the 2012 G98.7 FM Award at the Harry Jarreau Awards. I have said enough. It's time to welcome to the stage Mr. Jay Dudley, and it's time also to invite the presenter. Let's see if I can find your name. Mr. Lee Miller. There you go. Got to find your name someplace. Blessings.
Mr. Brown, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. Excellence. What does that mean? It means to be very good.
Better than that.
And you do not achieve excellence without determination. I have known Jay Douglas for over 50 years. Yes, I was 5, and so was he. So, he is a brother from another mother and another father. He's an extended family. My brother, I love you.
Thank you.
And it's an honor, a pleasure to be here to present this award to my brother, the excellent, His Excellence, Jay Douglas.
I thank you, Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hold this one, please? Thank you. I just want to say a few words. First and foremost, we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. So at this time, with my conscious and spiritual consciousness, I thank the spirits. I'd like to thank my mother, Noreen Pinnock, a domestic worker who came here in 1954 without the domestic workers. And when my mom did her test in Jamaica to come here, they asked her in Kingston, those were rigid tests. Do you have any kids? She had to lie. And by the age of 20, she had 4 kids in order to come here. And so today, I thank my mom, Noreen. I thank you all. most of all BADC. And I'd like to say this. Last year I was asked to perform here. And I looked in the audience and I asked the group, all Valerie and Logie, where are the grandchildren? This year I see more grandchildren. No, clap them. My stage in life is not about self-preservation. It's what we are leaving for the grandchildren. Let me say this to you. Many years ago I was at a barbecue and they were talking about Dudley laws and Valerie and all, music flowing, everything carrying on, and that someone in that group said, Dudley laws don't represent me. You can't talk for me. And you know, I was getting very heated and I recognized that was said out of ignorance. Today, let me say something else. Ask Logie about this. Logie was on the streetcar one day. No, Mr. Laws was on the streetcar. And the white gentleman said, Mr. Laws, you ride streetcar? You're supposed to be so chauffeur-driven by your people. At least today we're celebrating a hero, not ignorance. We're not celebrating ignorance. We need to celebrate our heroes more. And I say thank you for this award. Thank you, BADC. Thank you, all you foundation people. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Come, Mr. Eddie Grant. Here's a man we should not take for granted, Mr. Eddie Grant. Make sure. Come on. No, I'm not sing to them. Big up Jimmy Reed. Big up Jimmy Reed.
Okay, yeah. All right, another one. One more. All right.
Oh, no love, get me now, mix up. So what?
Hey, one tune.
One.
You can't do that, no sing.
All right. Okay. Moon River, wider than a mile. We are. Sorry. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna sing with me. Moon River, wider than a mile. There's in style someday. Dear breaker, you're a whole heartbreaker. Wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows. There's such a lot of world, but I'm the very friend. Moon River and thank you.
Mr. J. Douglas, you know, we're blessed when you can come up and just a cappella it out like that, not true? Yeah, so give him a nice round of applause. Unions are important to our economy. in our neoliberal kind of economic space, there is much push against the union. We just want you, though, to recognize the value of unions in a capitalist society. Anyway, me I can't compete, so. In a capitalist society like we are, you need to have the unions as a voice for the workers. Because as society moves to a more pure capitalist laissez-faire society, it becomes harder for workers to get their due. So unions are important. And we celebrate tonight the union's connection to BADC. And the next award is going to be presented to Ms. Colleen Burke. Could you come forward, Ms. Burke? And the award will be presented by Ms. Adoma Patterson, the JCA president. But let me read this for you. Colleen Burke, Dedication Award. Colleen Burke has been an activist in peace, feminist, and human rights organizations for over 30 years. Hello. I want to put on a teacher hat. If you have to get dessert, do it quietly, so that we can continue this. So let me go back to this. Colleen Burke has been an activist in peace, feminist, and human rights organizations for over 30 years. As a member of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, she attended the UN 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing, co-chaired the Toronto Organizing Committee for the World March of Women in 2000, and organized an anti-violence against women art project called the Clothesline Project. She has been a steelworker since 2003 and has been active in the union ever since. As co-chair of the Women of Steel Committee, steward, recording secretary, and since 2015 as president of Local 1998, which is the second largest USW local in Canada. That's Local 1998. Has been a long-standing commitment tackling more than just bread and butter issues, and also works to educate and mobilize our members around important equity and human rights issues so we can have a positive impact in the workplace and in society. Colleen and USW Local 1998 are honored and proud to support Black Action Defense Committee and its over 30 years of militancy and activism on issues of racism and policing. The issue of carding, police shootings, police oversight are just as important today as they were in 1998 when BADC was formed. We're happy to lend our support to BADC fundraising Brunch, to honor the member of Dudley laws, and to raise money for scholarships and bursaries for the GTA. To receive this dedication award, Ms. Colleen Burke.
thank you very much. On behalf of USW Local 1998, I would like to thank BADC for this award. There are a lot of steelworkers in the room today. We were talking a bit about unions and their role in capitalism. Steelworkers has always felt very strongly that union needs to be more than just bread and butter issues. It's not just about the next contract, but it's also about social justice. And so we're always very happy to stand beside an organization like BADC and be an ally. And particularly with Doug Ford in office, now we're seeing some of the things, the gains from the last few years being rolled back. So it's more important than ever for us to be allies with BADC in your fight against anti-Black racism and over policing, carding, all of those important issues. So thank you very much.
Present it to her. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Look towards each other. Look towards me. Start. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Maureen.
All right, now you can do a round of applause that is way bigger than you have. Because it's all delivered, you give an applause. She mentioned the importance of allies. And we need to recognize that because the fight for justice, the fight for social justice is never achieved alone. It's achieved in company. And we need allies. So celebrate that and make some noise. Thank you. Natty Alexander, did I say your name right? Okay. She is a BADC Somali. And she is going to introduce our next performer. So put your hands together for my co-MC, Ms. Alexander. Oh, by the way, you notice that she wears the food clothes. That means she's in the kitchen. Big up the kitchen.
Good evening, everybody. How is everybody? Enjoy the food? Yeah. Okay. My name is Hassanati Alexander. Everybody knows me as Hasha. I'm the Provincial Youth Outreach Work for Black Action Defense Committee. And here I have this young lady, Alicia Blake. She's one of the young ladies I've been mentoring for a year. And she has made a great impact in my work and also my personal life. She's wrote a spoken word piece for the annual Black History event for 500 high school youth in GTA, and she's here to perform her piece. And I hope everybody's listening because it's very powerful and it means a lot to her. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My piece is called History, and it's written by me. The compilation of history is made up of him and her, he and she, ours and theirs, and his story. But my history sounds like 9 months of unwanted pregnancy, like the birth of a new life, like a soft whisper of a cradle, like a sweet melody over a tight beat. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. History sounds like police brutality, like Alton Sterling, Trayvon Martin. History sounds a lot like Andrew Luco, Philandro. Hell, history sounds like jazz, even when we're beaten black and bruised, back then back. History sounds like survival. My story sounds like the clicking of railroad tracks, like old Negro hymns, spirituals, like celebration in safe houses, like underground maps to a free land that ain't so free. History sounds like becoming Michelle, unbossed and unbought. History sounds a lot like been one